Hello, peoples of YouTube and Facebook. This is Jonathan, obviously. Um, Let me tell you what I'm going to attempt to make happen today. It's the first day of I'm taking a little mini vacation. I got 4 days off, and it's the first day. It's Monday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and there is something that I've been wanting to try to do for a long time, but I haven't been able to have the days to really be able to attempt it. And what that is I am going to attempt to marathon the Lord of the Rings movies. And that is all three Hobbit movies, all three Lord of the Rings movies, extended editions of all of them. That is 21 hours in total. So I'm going to try to do that. We're gonna see how it goes. I think I'm gonna be able to make it. But I have the Hobbit, an unexpected journey already started. I'm about to go in and sit down, and I'm gonna be documenting this every step of the way. After every movie, I will be making a new little video, and I'm gonna compile them all together and put them up on YouTube when it's done. So be on the lookout for that, and wish me luck, I guess. Alright, guys. 3 hours in, just got finished with Hobbit, an Unexpected Journey. It's probably my favorite out of the three Hobbit movies, so it's not really too bad. Still feeling pretty good about this, but again, we're still pretty early in. We'll see how I do with the two other ones, because honestly, getting through the three Hobbit movies is going to be the biggest task for me, just because they're just tiresome. Once I get to the actual Lord of the Rings movies, it's going to be a lot easier. I love those. But the Hobbit movies are just tiring. Just in general, just so tiring. And I'm not totally sure why that is. It's still set in Middle Earth, and I love the whole idea. I think it's because you just can't quite grab onto the characters as much. Plus, it's a story that only should have been told in 2 movies, not 3. They stretched it out way too long. But they're still good movies. So, yeah, still feeling pretty good about everything right now. Had some coffee. Feeling pretty good. Gonna eat something here in a little bit. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes break in between each of the movies, so I'm not just sitting on the couch and atrophying myself for 21 hours. So I'll see you back after the desolation of Smaug. Alright, guys. So, two down. I just got finished with the Desolation of Smaug. And to be perfectly honest, this is actually my favorite one out of the three Hobbit movies. I think it's the best one. It has the best part of the story, I feel. Although we'll get into the third one when I get to it. Usually I like the first ones of movies, especially on trilogies, because I like the build-up and the exposition to what the main story is going to be. I really enjoy that aspect of storytelling. I mean, Star Wars, even the original Fellowship of the Ring, first Harry Potter, things like that. I like the exposition and the world building of what the main story is going to be in these type of movies. I really, really do. But you can't deny that usually it's the middle movie that's going to be the best one, because it's telling the most important part of the story, especially in a trilogy. In a trilogy, it's usually going to be exposition, main part of the story, ending. The main part of the story, the journey of how they get there, is usually the more important aspect of it. And this one is no exception. It has so much good stuff in it. It has the introduction of Lake Town, which I can take or leave. I had some problems with Lake Town, especially in the third one, and I'll get to that when we get to the movie. It had the acceptance of the dwarves accepting Bilbo for who he is, and learning to trust him. And it had Smaug in it, and Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug was just so good. He was so great. It was terrifying, but you couldn't help but kind of respect him. And this one actually had my favorite character out of probably all three of them. And it was a character that I wish that they had done more with, and that's Bjorn, the Skinwalker. I really wish they had been able to do more with his character, but I understand. I think they could have expanded some. I think they could have expanded a lot more than they did, but there you go. This one also has kind of a downer ending. Middle ones in trilogies often do. Look at Empire Strikes Back. It's a downer ending. This one is a downer ending. This one also has probably my favorite moment, my favorite part of all three of these movies, and that is the song at the end. The song is Icy Fire from Ed Sheeran. Both trilogies have one song in them that just almost makes the whole trilogy worth it. For this trilogy, it's that song. It's so good. It plays during the credits, and it fits the movie so well. And it's just gorgeous. This is one of the... I actually watch I'll watch all the credits for this movie because I want to hear that song. And it's important to hear and listen and really pay attention to that song after the movie. Because this movie ends with Smaug breaking free and flying towards Lake Town in order to cause mass destruction. And then hearing that song right after you see that, it's just, oh God, it's so good. It's so good. And I'll talk about there's another song in the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I'll talk to that when we get to it. I'll talk about that one when we get to it. But so yeah, 2 movies in. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to give myself like maybe 20-30 minutes before I start the new one. I want to walk around a little bit. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to walk around the apartment building a little bit. I need to get something to eat, and I need to get dinner started because it has to cook all day. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then I'm going to come back with the Battle for the Five Armies, and this one is always such a task to get through because I just don't like it as much. But there you go. So I'll see you the next turn. Alright. Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. Done. And I enjoyed this one more than I think I maybe ever have. This was always the one that I was like, it's not great. There's some kind of neat action scenes, but it was always the one that in my mind I just always had trouble getting through because, oh gosh, it's just so tiresome. Because, and the main reason for that is just because this was a story that didn't need 3 movies. That's really all there is to it. This was a story that did not need 3 movies. But there's a lot in this one that there is a decent amount that I really enjoy, and I think I liked it more this time than I maybe ever have before. And I think part of that is because I started focusing on some of the different aspects of it. Most especially the sub story with the elves, especially mostly Toriel and Legolas. Them being on their own and kind of breaking away from their family and realizing that this isn't the right way to do things and that type of stuff. It was an interesting sub story, and I really appreciated it being in there. This was really Bilbo's story. Bilbo realizing that Thorn is going crazy, and there's this whole psychological aspect of what the gold is doing to him that I find really interesting and stuff like that. So I enjoyed this movie more than I usually would. So that's good. It did make it a little bit easier to get through. So it is 6:17. It has been 9 hours since it has been just a little over 9 hours since I started this whole thing, and I've pretty much been going straight. As soon as one's over, I'm popping the next one in. As soon as one's over, I'm popping the next one in. I took a small break to get dinner started, but that was about it. Am I gonna make it? I don't know. I still got 12 hours to go. But I'm getting into the good stuff. I'm getting into the actual Lord of the Rings movies, which I enjoy a lot more than the Hobbit movies. I mean, they're some of my favorite movies ever. So that'll help. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go out. I'm going to walk up to the store. I'm going to grab myself a soda, get some fresh air. And then I'll be back and we'll keep on going. I'm determined to make it through this. So we'll see. Thanks. Oh. Alright. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Done. Moving on to Two Towers. Starting to get a little bit tired. I am 12 hours into this project. About 12 hours. I started at 9 o'clock this morning is when I started the first one. It is 9:32 at the moment. And I'm starting to feel the fact that I've been at this for 12 hours, but at the same time I'm feeling pretty good because I'm into the movies that I really know and really love to watch now. Lord of the Rings trilogy are they're almost my comfort movies. I'll watch them when I'm sick, if I'm not feeling well and I want to feel better, if I'm depressed. There are those movies for me that I just pop in just to help make myself feel better about anything, about whatever, and they always have been. I used to fall asleep for these movies all the time when I was married. But so it's nice to be watching these again, although it doesn't quite feel the same as if I would just be watching them normally, but feeling pretty good. Going into Two Towers here. Michael's probably going to be home in about an hour, and we'll have dinner, and I'm just going to keep on going. Some food will probably help wake me up a little bit, and I'll be ready for this end. Still not completely sure if I'm going to make it or not. I'm really going to try, but I know I'm going to be feeling this by the time I get through the Two Towers. So we'll see. And yes, I'll see you again in about 4 hours. 1 o'clock in the morning. It has been 16 hours. Just a little over. Oh, exactly 16 hours. I'm tired. But I made it through the 2 hours. So, yeah. I'm pretty tired, but 2 towers perked me up a little bit because that honestly is probably the best out of all of them, I would say. And it's probably the best out of the 6 movies. It has a lot of really good character development built into it. It has some really good stuff. It gives you some more history of things, and it shows some of the odd parts of the movie that you didn't realize that you wanted an answer for, especially the extended edition. But most importantly, it gives you the Battle of Helm's Deep, which is probably one of the best action sets out of most movies. It's just this amazing battle. The way it's shot was beautiful. Everything about it, it's long. I mean, it's like 30 minutes. It's just this 30-minute long battle. It's just amazing. So I think that it's the best out of all 6 of them, and that perked me up a little bit. But I have, I have one movie left, Return of the King, and I am looking at 4 hours and 20 minutes. Jesus. So we'll see how I do. But I wanted to show you the time to show you that I'm not just shooting these at any point. I really am doing this. I really have been sitting here for 16 hours watching watching Lord of the Rings movies. But yeah, if I make it, if I don't make it, I'll let you know either way. Well, I'm done. It is 5:16 in the morning. It has been 20 hours and about 20 minutes since I started the first movie. First movie was about 5 till 9 this morning, I think. And I know that seems like it's a little bit off from my initial saying of 20 hours and 58 minutes, but you gotta remember there's almost 40 minutes of credits in these movies even just between the last 3. I mean, the last 3, there's probably at least 40 minutes total, and I skipped most of the credits, especially on the last 3. As soon as the movie was done, I took it out and started the new one. I'm exhausted. I had fun doing this, but my God. But yeah, Return of the King. Fantastic movie. Of course. So many powerful moments. So many great moments. So much good action in it. So much character development. And it has one of the saddest scenes. There's a scene in Return of the King that is probably one of the only scenes that I can think of in movies in general that makes me cry every single time I see it, and that is when all of Minas Tirith bows down to the hobbits. When Aragorn says, "My friends, you bow to no one." That scene chokes me up every single time. without fail. Yeah, I was really originally planning on just doing a short little bit at the end here, talking about why I love these movies so much, but to be perfectly honest, I am so exhausted it probably just wouldn't make any sense. There's it, Lord of the Rings is one of the most influential and best fantasy stories ever written. It's probably one of the better book to movie adaptations ever attempted. This was a series of movies that never would have worked. Nobody else could have adapted this except for Peter Jackson. Everything about them was perfect, from the casting to the direction to the settings, everything. And the story itself is just so good. It's just such a perfect blend of everything that you could possibly want in a good story. It's fantasy, it's magic, it's mythical creatures, it's a story of good versus evil, it's a story with heavy religious overtones without there being any religion in it. There's no religion in these stories, really, because J.R.R. Tolkien wrote them that way on purpose. There's heavy influences from Catholicism, but there is nothing outright stated in it. And again, I could get into so much more with this, but I'm already sounding like I'm not making a lot of sense in my own head, so I probably really doubt that I'm making sense to you guys. But again, yeah, I'm exhausted from this, so I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'm probably gonna go to bed. But this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of it. If you guys really liked it, I may think about doing something like this again in the future, if I ever find time to do it, because I literally had to wait till I was on vacation to be able to do this. But I have other movie series that I could try to fit into a day and see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go crash. Good night.